Hi and welcome back, friends. Back once again, ready for another video. I've done some research the last couple of days, been a little busy. And today, in this video, I will try to introduce you to my opinion and my view and perspective of the Tartarian Empire, which is the forgotten civilization that was here before us. Looks like it was a very, very well-established empire and society, which used to be here for a very long time. But then something terrible happened and they were wiped out. And after that, these parasites, which is now the current controllers, came with a bunch of lies. They told us to fool us into this system of control and slavery, which is the so-called modern society of today, which is the bullshit fucking crap that we don't want to have here anymore. We don't need it. We are sick of it. We need to get rid of it. And the only way to do that right now, in my opinion, is to speak up against it. At least try to do it. Because right now, these scumbags have told the world through television and politics and all that bullshit that there is something dangerous floating in the air. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. So a lot of people now, when they walk outside, every person they see are the masturbators. They have the mask on. And after some research, these masks are quite dangerous for a human to wear, at least the whole day, like they do, because we humans, we actually need to breathe, because we need oxygen in our brains and bodies. So these masks will reduce that amount of fresh oxygen, and long term it will cause big problems. So as most of you already have heard, back a little bit in time, about 100 years, from 1918 to 1929, we had what they call the Spanish flu. Yes, that lasted 11 years. And we are now, 6-7 months into the thing going on now, whatever that shit is. I don't say its name because I don't like it. But we are only 6 months into that shit. And if the Spanish flu lasted 11 years, things might stay fucked for a while. And I think my opinion is that back in time when they had the Spanish flu, I think they used the masks and also the injections into their bodies as the reset. I think they did the reset with those two things. Because when people eventually get sick by wearing these face masks, they will just blame it on Corona, this thing going on. Yeah, I almost said it there. And also the injections they will get very sick from these injections because of the ingredients are not good for us. They will get sick and they will just blame it on the same thing. They will say it's the thing floating in the air that killed them or made them very sick. And that's so just fucking bullshit. It's just terrible. And the thing right now is that we have the internet now, okay? So they didn't have that in the Spanish flu. So they could basically do what they wanted because everyone got their information through the newspaper. So imagine just that for the Americans, they could get newspaper and they could say, yeah, for example, that the whole Europe was dead without actually being so. So just to keep them in the fear for this thing floating in the air, which doesn't exist. And then you went to Europe and their newspapers maybe said America was dead, nothing left there, everybody died from this virus thing. And they couldn't know or research if it was true or not because of the lack of information from the other side of the pond, you know. But now we have internet, so now we know every time if something big happens, we can know it and we can share it here through this screen. Which is why I think this pandemic will be different this time because of the access to information and also access to sharing the information with the other people to help them wake up. Because the Spanish flu was exactly the same thing as we have now. It was the social distancing, closing of smaller businesses, no travel, you couldn't take the boat or airplanes or whatever, face masks, and then you had people like me and you, the mask refusers, the ones who didn't believe there was something in the air that's dangerous. And then you had police force against the ones who refused and stuff, which is kind of the same thing we see today. So it's just the same trick played over and over again to cause the resets. You don't need apocalypses, you don't need mud floods, X factors, whatever. You don't need that. You only need to wear a face mask for 11 years and take the vaccines. That's a population reset. And yeah, it gotta stop. Because these people, just imagine 6 months ago, if you got the common cold, it was just like a little coughing and it's all good. Just a couple of days of some some coughing and maybe a little runny nose, and then it was over, no problem. Nobody were afraid back then, only 6 months ago. And now if someone gets the common cold, they think they will die for some reason. They think it's the other thing going on now. So people are just completely brainwashed, and the whole history, the true history, is gone. Basically everything is a fucking lie. So we have to expose it. So yeah, that was I just like to talk a bit. So that was the current world situation we are in right now. I just wanted to tell you my opinion on that, but we should get back on topic here. So the lost Tartarian Empire. I will show you and explain a little bit of their architecture, like the building styles and different opinions I have on the buildings they built, because these buildings are still around everywhere, in every city almost, probably in your city as well. So I will show you some of the architecture so you can if you're new to Tartaria, which is kind of why I'm making this video, to introduce people to Tartaria if they don't know about it. So if you're new to that, I will show you some of the architecture so you can start to recognize the architecture around you. When you are outside walking and you see these buildings, you will know when they are from the old world, because you can't unsee it once you see it, okay? It's from the very advanced civilization of Tartaria. And I will also show you a little bit of different technologies they had. Very high-tech, free energy technology, all electric ether energy, which we don't have access to now, because we need to pay for electricity, because there is no money in free. And a little bit showing you what I think is evidence of bigger people existing here in the past, giants. And then we will finish off with my explanation of the event that happened in the past that wiped them out, that removed the empire, so the parasites could come and tell us we live on a globe and whatnot, all that shit. So yeah, let's just get started. Let's look at some fucking pictures here. Okay. So we start off with the architecture and free energy buildings of the Tartarian Empire. Research Tartaria, history is a lie. Okay, so you gotta research Tartaria, #Tartaria. Because there have been some events here in the past, and most of us believe that there is more remains of the world underground, all covered in, what we call mud. And also some of the buildings, and many of the buildings actually, are also melted. I will show you that later. So yeah, we think we only see the tops of some of these buildings, that the ground level goes way down below, the real true ground level, that was the ground level before all these events and destruction of this realm. So here you can see some comparison. This is old buildings to the left, and this is some new technology, power plant, whatever thing. And you can kind of see, you can compare them and see a little bit of similarity here. These things going up in the air, and yeah, why was this done for a purpose or just for fun, you know? I say it's for a purpose, for energy purposes. Harnessing the energy from the ether, the atmos plane. So here is a building of this that's apparently still active, and this spire here is harnessing the energy. And this is a short video clip, and I will show you. There is some sound and stuff coming from it, so you just watch this. You see these orbs hovering there around this spire. I believe most of the buildings were built like this to be powered for free, just from above, from the ether, atmosphere, atmos plane. Call it what you want. So yeah, I found that a little interesting. Still being active Antiquitech building. So to me that means this building here is all run by free energy. Nobody have to pay shit. You just build this technology here and you have the electricity you need forever. Everyone should have access to that, but we don't. And that's a problem. So here is more of the old world architecture, and as you can see, it's just gorgeous. See all the columns. Many times it looks like all these columns and shit are like a part of a grid system, like a computer motherboard connected into the grid. I will explain more of that also later. But just see all this water thing going here, Aquatech, the architecture, the detail, the dome. It's just incredible. And we are told most of these buildings, we are told they are built like late 1800s, and they are built with horses and just manpower, you know. And it makes no sense to all these stones here, or this is actually just red bricks, but all that shit were like moved in carts with horses, you know. We are told this is all big stones put together, but after doing some more research, it's just the red bricks. You know how a red brick is. This is just red bricks covered with exterior concrete finish. So there is no huge fucking megalithic shit around here. It's all just red bricks. Everything is red bricks, which I also will show you. So here you see another old world building, which is what we call, for example, I think this is like a Gothic castle thing, but it's just a building. Every person in the old world lived in something like this, you know. You can see these towers, the towers to the domes up here, free energy harnessing all over, you know. They don't do this for fun. There is always a reason in the old world, always. And most of the time it's for energy. They used and harnessed all the energy they could. So this is old building from the old world, very high-tech building powered by free energy, very beautiful. Just see the details and the different shapes you have these rounded things here, and yeah, you see it. And today we just build this, what we call the 90-degree square box of sadness. Like we design the houses and the rooms like prison cells now, because that's what they are designed to be. I actually I'm sitting right now in a prison cell. I have my own key, yeah, I can go outside and go to another place, but it's still a prison. The whole world is a prison. This is just my cell where I sleep. And here you see the spire here, some kind of technology, and this one. Just imagine this being electric and energy coming in here. You see the spirals going down and powering the grid, powering all the buildings around, is what I believe this is here. Some kind of power plant, very high-tech, ancient power plant. See all these people, how small they are compared to this. It's a pretty big buildings. Some of them are very much bigger. And the biggest ones is all melted. They are gone, or they are not gone, we call them mountains. Here you see a dome, more of these spires. Just imagine this being technology. See the detail. Architecture, we didn't build that. It's a gorgeous building. We don't build like that anymore. And you see this thing on the top. This is what we today call a cross, and the parasites stole the symbol, this this shape here, and they created a bunch of religions to mind control us. So that's why you see crosses from the old world, but they didn't believe in these sky wizards coming down and saving us, because that sky wizard should have been here a long time ago, when it's over 1 million kids going missing every year. It makes no sense to worship something that allows that to happen. Makes zero sense. So energy coming in here, and yeah, looks like it's transferred down and into the grid. Just notice the architecture. It's way different than what we build today. Can't compare this stuff. Here, free energy harnessing, and yeah, you see the details. It's the same thing. This is all red bricks covered with this yellowish exterior concrete finish. Just put it on there on the outside of the bricks to get this other design or finish. Many times they like to have the red bricks exposed, and sometimes they like to cover them up to get the variations and shit. So here is another building. You see the domes, always these things up in the air, because they liked free energy. Here another old world building, and you see all the arches, and here is the red bricks exposed. Very beautiful building. See the detail up here. All this done with red bricks. They were incredible builders. Today we just build with reinforced concrete shit, crap, all gray and sad, no color, and it looks like shit. And it's not as durable as bricks. Bricks is the best you can build with. The best material is the Tartarian red bricks, because they built with it, and there is a reason. Here is a depiction. I don't know when this is from, but here you see like this man and the horse and the cart and stuff. So you see these spires, these Antiquitech buildings here, the columns, all that shit. This is not churches, it's power plants and healing stations. It's only the parasites who repurposed these buildings and turned them into these churches and places of worship. So this is old world buildings, and because these people here don't seem too advanced, this is the people that came after the reset, in my opinion. These people here, yeah, I know it's a depiction, but you can see them. You can see real pictures as well. It's just a depiction here, but these people here did not build this. That's what I mean. They did not build it. This is all built by the Tartarians. So here you see another old wall building. So you see this metal thing going up in the air all around. And here is a tram, most likely powered by free energy as well. Free energy trams. And here, I think this is in Chicago, in the 80s maybe a bit earlier even. And yeah, you can see it's all electric here. All these lights all around over the dome, up this tower. Here, street lamps, street lights, yeah. Very beautiful. And they said that this was built temporary. It was like this plaster, built by plaster for this thing they had going on in Chicago in the 1800s. But that's bullshit. This was the old world, and they came with that official narrative to destroy these beautiful buildings, to get rid of the evidence of the Tartarian Empire. There have been lots of wars and stuff just to destroy the buildings. and that's a fucking crime against humanity in itself, and it should be punished. So here is inside one of these buildings, and you can see the woodwork here and just the detail. It's just incredible. Just look at this. Everyone lived in buildings like this in the old world. There was no pyramid scheme, okay? Everyone seems to have been living as equal, you know? Nobody above, nobody under, no different classes. The lower class, middle class, and upper class, nothing of that shit. Everyone was equal. There was no suffering, no money, no slavery, no control, no rules. You just had natural law, in my opinion, which is basically you can do what you want as long as you don't harm anyone else. It's very simple to do that today as well, if enough people just agrees on it. If everyone is living like that, when you when you see someone harming someone else, he will get punished. It's just how it works. It's natural. It doesn't mean anarchy or doesn't mean total chaos and it's anarchy now. I'm going to buy an AK-47 to just shoot everyone I see. That doesn't happen. That's programming and brainwashing. Everyone can live in harmony if we want to. It's not too hard. It should be like no wars, no killings, except the only things you can kill is pedophiles, actually. That's the only thing we need. If everyone agrees on that, we can have peace and freedom. It's not hard. So here you see this is Barcelona, and you see all these small buildings here. Notice how it looks like it's kind of like a circuit board, a grid, many of these cities from above, which I will again tell you more about later. But see this one, this building here, which is what they call the cathedral, which is bullshit. It's a power plant of some kind. It's massive and gorgeous. Also, it has signs of melting on it. I think I have a picture of it. And it's a healing center as well. They have this organ inside. I will tell you more about the organs later and why I think they are called organs. But yeah, just look at this building. Doesn't really fit in here with many of the other buildings here. So looks like it's from some futuristic science fiction movie or some shit. Lots of these buildings do, because that's basically what they are. Just the future is in the past, because we live in the upside down world. So when you go back in time, they were intelligent, and further we move forward in time, we get dumber and dumber. Upside down world. So the future is the past. It's very, very fucked up, but that's reality. So we are actually the cavemen. We are the cavemen, and the people in the past were the intelligent ones. And it's all by design, by these parasites doing this to us, brainwashing us with education system, politics, fake news, all that shit. And it pisses me off, and I want to get rid of them so we can have this back. All these buildings. Here on you see the spires, and yeah, it looks just like a device. See the windows. Looks like these sacred patterns coming from vibrations and frequencies. Some people think this is used as docking station for zeppelins, to charge zeppelins and stuff, which is a good theory. We don't know. We have no clue. We have no way to confirm it, but different researchers have came to different conclusions, and that's the way we figure out this shit together. We do the research, we do the thinking, and we tell our opinion to the other people, and then we discuss back and forth until we find out what makes most sense. Which is why I'm making this video for you. So you see the arches, and yeah, this is also heat damaged, but yeah, I will come to the event later. We will finish off with that. Here, another old wall building, all red bricks, and you see the things on the top and some kind of a ball there. And yeah, it's an old wall building. We don't build like this anymore. Here is inside one, and you see the woodwork, perfect wood. You see the bricks here, and these bricks here all turn into stones because of some X-factor heat damage event that happened. Here is the bricks, and there, and a little bricks here. Rest of them got fucked up, and I will tell you more about it later. And inside another building, and just see the detail up here in the ceiling, on the walls, arches. It's just every inch of these buildings had to have some kind of, needed some attention, some detail, some design, some art, everything. Looks like they just had so much time on their hands, and it looks like they lived a lot longer as well. We just live 80 years and then we're fucking dead. It's like nothing. Because of how we live now and how much poison we put in our bodies and all that shit. So here is another one, and you see these people, and just look at the street lamps. I mean, come on. How beautiful is this compared to today? We have just this straight thing going up with a light, and then we now even have fucking 5G lamps and shit. Just look at this, and this one. Just look at the street lamps, the beauty in it. And in the background you see all Antiquitech. All Antiquitech. Look at this. Reminds me of the Eiffel Tower, which is a device as well. The domes, all high-tech buildings in the background. High-tech. Here, high-tech, more Antiquitech, towers to the domes, free energy buildings. Just notice the architecture. Most of the times they use these arches with bricks, and yeah. I'm showing you this so you can recognize the architecture around in your local city, so you can see that, oh shit, there is something weird going on here. Here as well, electric energy coming in, being transferred down to all this. Looks like some kind of motherboard plugged into a motherboard, which is the ground, the grid, all this. It's crazy. Arch. This is all red bricks covered with exterior concrete finish. Yeah. Here is inside another building, Tartarian old wall building, and notice the wood. Just notice the wood. The carvings, how shiny it is, how perfect. Chandeliers, you know, the table here, fireplace. Just everyone lived in something like this. The ceiling. It's just too gorgeous. Too gorgeous. So here another one, and yeah, all these towers to the domes, and a whole different style of architecture compared to today. Sorry. Here, I think this was the one in Chicago again. And you see this architecture. Yeah, you see the Antiquitech technology. A fountain. It just looks so gorgeous compared to today. So beautiful. Imagine walking here and see these buildings. Look at these buildings here. And now it's just this square box. Fucking box of sadness. Which is like we are just told to build it so fucking quickly now, and yeah, it's just fucking lame compared to this, the quality of this architecture here. This is a device. I mean, just think electric, okay? Why is this here? what is this? It's a device, some kind of harnessing of energy. And here is more Antiquitech buildings, and you see the same Tartarian buildings here. All this is brick buildings from the old world order. Old world order, which was wiped out and hijacked, and now we have the new world order, surrounded by masturbators and just shitty laws and rules and shit. We can't do anything anymore. Many people are in house arrest and all that. It's a new world order, controlled fucking design of the society. It's fucked up. Red bricks, Antiquitech spires towers to the domes. Energy harnessing turned into most likely some kind of what they call church, but it was also a healing center with the organs and stuff. Look at this one. This is fucking fancy. Red brick building. Partly upgraded concrete molds around the bricks, where you see this white. It's yeah. It's a fancy fucking building, yeah. It's like they made it look easy, and it was building like this. It's just like they were showing off, you know. Look what we can do, you know, just for fun. It's crazy. Yeah, this is technology, energy harnessing here, powering this building, and probably a lot of buildings around it as well. You don't build this just for fun. This is a device. It's a machine buildings actually. And the same thing, you see this thing here, and energy coming down, and domes and red bricks powering the buildings and shit. Old world architecture. Old world architecture. Just see how beautiful. Walking here on this bridge, looking at these buildings and stuff, all the details, which we don't have anymore. Inside another of this building, and you can just see the beauty of it compared to today's architecture. You know what I'm talking about. Just, yeah, you know how we build today compared to this. And we are told the further back you go, the stupider they were, which is bullshit. Here, red bricks exposed. Beautiful building. Look at this one. It's just insane. It's like coming from a Game of Thrones TV series or some shit. I picture this world in the past being so beautiful that we can't even imagine it properly, because it's just so insane, all this stuff and knowledge that were robbed from us. Just see the details. All this is red bricks covered with exterior concrete finish. It's heat damaged, which I again will come to explain more later. And all these statues is not carvings, it's concrete molds, just for the design. And this is energy harnessing and putting down the power and powering these fucking buildings. See the woodwork in the ceiling. Whoa. Free energy fireplaces, and yeah, it's just beautiful inside of these buildings. And here, domes, energy harnessing, and see all the columns. Looks just like something connected down to a motherboard. Just notice the details and architecture, which is what this is about here. So you can recognize you have buildings like this all over the world, because it was a worldwide empire. And here you see the Crystal Palace in London, which they burnt down because people were starting to recognize that we didn't build this. This was something far more advanced. We don't know how to build this stuff. It's a huge building, some kind of energy. It had this tower on one of each sides, and yeah, it's just incredible. And this is a photograph. Sometimes they do something with the sky. It's always white sky in these pictures, because I think they are hiding shit that we are not supposed to see in the air. Some towers sometimes, and maybe ships and stuff up in the air. But there is no people, as you can see. No people. There should be people here, you know, sitting here in this park thing and being in the sun and stuff. But there is no people, which is strange. I connected with the resets and stuff, so there was no people here yet. And if there is no people, how can this massive thing be built? Someone had to build it. Many people probably had to construct this together. Yeah, see the architecture, the detail, and compare it with modern buildings. Do you think the ones in the past were the stupid ones, or do you think we are the stupid ones? I think we are the stupid ones. Look at this. Just look at this. This is one of my favorites. I have seen thousands of these buildings, but this is one of my favorites. I would love to live in one of these. Holy fuck. It's amazing. Probably some elevator up here, and you can walk over, look out on the city here. Free energy harnessing. Much space, a lot of space. And it just looks fucking awesome. Inside another one. Just notice the detail. Notice the height of the ceiling here. It's just how tall it is up to the ceiling. Which is why some of these buildings looks like they were built to fit bigger beings and people. Bigger humans, giants, call them what you want. And here, this is also Tartarian, and yeah, see at the top, that's electric. It's electric. You see. And here you see yeah, melted buildings with water still flowing out of them. I will tell you more later. Here, the detail, the ceiling. Yeah, just look. The architecture. You have buildings like this all around. You have to go outside after you have watched this video and just take a look, and you will find these buildings which none of us built. There is 0 photographs from any of these buildings being built, and we have had photographs since what, 1840s. We have photographs since the camera, before the camera were invented according to the official narrative. So why did nobody photograph these buildings being built? It's very strange, because most of these buildings are said to be built 1880, 1890s, but we have photographs 40 years older than that. Why did nobody photograph this these buildings being built, I mean? Because we didn't build them. They are from far back in time. They are very old buildings, most likely, and something happened. Some of the buildings survived, and then we just found them, inherited them. Look at the woodwork here. Spiral stairs. Yeah, this is all wood carvings, and yeah. Tell me, are we the stupid ones, or the past civilization? Yes, we are the stupid ones. Just look at this. Whew. It's insane. It's insane. Imagine living in this. The beauty. Red brick building, tons of these spires, free energy. Free energy. architecture. Columns down to the ground, domes. Yeah. Crazy building here. All electric. All electric. It's just, yeah, it's insane. This is all technology building, free energy. And here is this, what they call cathedral in Barcelona again. And here you can see all it's melted. It's very melted. And they say it was on a fire and shit, but that's a lie. A lie. You need way much more heat to do this. Way much more heat. So this is the melting from the evidence. Some of the buildings didn't melt completely, but yeah, this is melting from the event. And here, this is a melted building. You see the red, you can see the block lines and shit, and water is still coming out of them. Flowing out. So the irrigation systems is still working, because where is the lake here? Where is the water coming from? There is no fucking lake up on top here. It's just flowing out of these buildings. Where is the water coming from? I will explain more later. So here is another Antiquitech device. You can see how this is all into the ground, and it's all open, you know. Why do this? You can't stay in here without it being windy. You can't store shit in here because it's all open. Why build like this? Because it's just a fucking device. It's electric, harnessing energy and transferring it into the grid here and powering other buildings. And you don't build this for fun. You don't. It's always a reason. All wall order architecture, arches, towers to the domes. This is free energy. All red brick buildings, domes, old walled architecture. And here you can see it's all electric. Compare this architecture with the new buildings, the buildings we build today, and yeah, you will. It's easy. You just gotta use your brain a little bit and compare these magnificent fucking buildings to the ones we build today, and yeah, you will see it's all high-tech buildings built by a very advanced civilization that was wiped out, and then we never were told about it. They used so much energy to hide this evidence or this civilization. They do not want us to know about it. So I'm here to tell you about it so you can know about it. You're welcome. So yeah, this is inside another one. Inside another one, and you get the beautiful, I love the woodwork. When they do the wood like this, it's just like, whoa, I just wanna stroke it with my finger, you know? My fingertips over here, and just feel the smoothness of the wood, just how gorgeous. But you see the detail here, the rails, wooden, it's just sick. Red bricks, partially upgraded concrete molds around some of the bricks on the corners and stuff. Yeah, this is old walled, a building. Red bricks, always the red bricks. And here, old walled. This is a little weird because to me it looks like this is photographed, but some of these people here, it looks like they are painted in. But sometimes they did that. Some of the old pictures are manipulated to maybe this was empty after a reset, and they wanted us to think that these primitive horse people here built these fucking buildings. It makes no sense. No sense. These people here on horses did not build these buildings. See here how small these fuckers are compared to this magnificent, massive Tartarian old wall building. So if this is real people, they came after this was built. Okay, so, or if it's painted, it's because this photograph was all empty, and yeah, they don't want us to question why is there no people here. These massive buildings, there should be people, you know, so they painted it in. I don't know, I think it looks like painting. I could be wrong, but yeah. Free energy, harnessing, and heat damage. You see scorching on the bottom and shit. This is exposed to heat, but it's a old world order building. This one as well. This one is in Copenhagen, Denmark, I think. And you see the red bricks. You see the arches, and just look at this one. This is electric. Here is more in the background. It's like, yeah, this is old world order. We don't build like this anymore because we don't know how to. Here, a massive old world building, and you see the columns connected. Looks like it's connected to a grid. Like, just look at the circuit board and compare this. It looks kind of like the same. So this is the Eiffel Tower in 1910, and you can see all these things in here. It's some kind of electric stuff, and yeah, they removed them. They disabled this tower here. Is this device is disabled, and yeah, you see here is an old wall building in the back. Very high-tech red brick free energy thing, and now it's gone. They don't want these buildings here. They want these fucking slave prison cells we have now. Old World, this is a massive fucking building. You can see some people, they are just small fucking dots. Like a dot from a pen. This is massive. And it's from the old world. Look at this. Yeah, can you see that shit? Can you fucking see that? Fuck, my nose is itching. Motherfucker. So yeah, you get a dome in copper. Looks like corroded copper here. And yeah, it looks heat damaged. The color is some scorching and stuff. But the architecture itself, the detail, it's old world order Tartarian. Tartarian. And this is the Tesla tower, and this is just a depiction of some of these towers to the domes and stuff, and I think it's the kind of the same thing. So this is like the Tesla tower, where he reinvented. Okay, this technology have been around for thousands of years, probably from the beginning of time, but we were wiped out and we forgot about it. But some people managed to figure it out and recreate them, you know. And that's what Tesla did. And he wanted to expose it and give us all this free energy to humanity. But the controllers didn't like that because there is no money in free. So he were suppressed. Didn't reach out, and yeah, all his ideas were stolen, and now the controllers use it and we don't have access, which is not good, and I'm pissed off. Here, old wall architecture, free energy buildings. Is this? Yeah. There's just a horse cart there, but they're these fucking big buildings and all this stuff here, all Tartarian buildings here, and there is just too few people. It doesn't fit in here. It's just there's something wrong. There should be more people with these kinds of buildings here. Just look at all these buildings here, all these rooms. It's just like, yeah, it had to be more. This is old world order in Russia, and it's some kind of device, free energy. Here as well. Old world, old world. All these buildings. Same thing. This is technology, Antiquitech, free energy harnessing, and this is old world where they just lived. This is yeah, it's crazy. And here you see the Eiffel Tower, and yeah, some kind of grid shit here going on. You know, even if it's a depiction, some of the depictions have a lot of clues, okay? When you start to see this old world stuff, I recommend you to look at old depictions to look for clues, because I would guess a lot of the times, most of the times, the artist who drew it drew what he could see. He drew what he saw. Yeah, this is also the Chicago thing, I believe, and it's just insanely beautiful. Insanely beautiful. Obelisks, towers to the domes, water fountains. It's just insanely beautiful. And they say they built it just temporary to have it there, I don't know, a couple of years or something, 2 years or some shit, and then pull it down. So they say this is all plaster buildings, just fake buildings for temporary use. And hello, come on. That's not the truth. This is real buildings from the old world. Technology, all beautiful. But they came with these lies to tear it down and get rid of them, so we can't have this beautiful. We are not allowed to have it, okay? It's a problem. Look here. All these stupid motherfuckers here don't know anything about this building. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but yeah, it's kind of true. So you see this building, Antiquitech towers to the domes, and yeah. Then you compare it with this one, just a square box of sadness, and here just a square box of sadness. And you see this compared to it, so it's just insane. There is 2 worlds here, an old world which is pretty much gone, and then the new world which is now, which is shit. All columns connected to a grid, looks like, and domes, energy, and just see all these cars. See the size of this motherfucker. And then you see a lot of the other buildings here, and yeah, this doesn't fit in here. It just does not fit in. Someone else built it. Another one of these, and yeah, this looks pretty heat damaged. Old world architecture. Old world architecture. This is in my town in Norway, and this is old world, and this is the Antiquitech. This is copper and goes far up in the air and to harness energy. And this is the church, or so-called church, in the same city, which is some kind of a device, but they repurposed it and turned it into a religious thing for some reason. Like, yeah, there is an organ inside here, and it was used for energy harnessing. And the sky is disgusting in this picture. Chemtrails inside a building. You see the brickwork here, the details. All old world order. Old world order. And here is a depiction of some of the different building styles they had. You know, you had this regular building, you had this with the columns, you have the domes, towers, spires, obelisk, pyramids, taller towers like Empire State Building and shit, which is from the old world. More domes and spires, and yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Just different high-tech old world order buildings we don't build anymore. Woodwork, arches, and yeah, gorgeous inside of these buildings. beautiful, beautiful. And this is a depiction of the Crystal Palace inside of it, and yeah, you see this glass arch thing here, and you see a grown-ass tree. And they said like they built just over this tree and stuff, but that's retarded. This tree was planted in there, and it has been here for a long time. Long time. High-tech, antiquitech, old world order building. Just gotta compare this shit with the new architecture from this this civilization we are in now, and yeah, you should be able to see that we are the dumb fucks who don't know shit. Old world order architecture, free energy. Lots of old world order buildings here. Up here, pretty much everything. Bridge, yeah. We don't build, we don't build like this anymore. Here, brick buildings, towers. Here, yeah. Lots of people actually here. What are they doing? Some kind of parade or some shit? Some kind of parade or some shit. Probably just distractions. Because these people here did not build this. They did not build it. So they are distracting them here so these people don't look around and try to figure out what's going on. Oh, we had one of these already. Just, yeah, you see how it's connected to the ground. Powering the grid, looks like. So here is this is just an CGI picture, but it's kind of like a computer city, just to give you an idea. Some of these buildings, you see this is like the CPU compressor in the in the PC, yeah. Processor, I mean, not compressor. I lost myself there a little bit. The processor in the PC, and this is like the columns here you see on some of these buildings all connected, and here, and yeah, you can see, you know, this looks like a city and it looks like a motherboard, which is yeah, just an illustration here, which buildings, and sometimes it looks like the earth is like a motherboard and it's all energy and electricity and shit. So it's just, yeah. Here is the remains, the footprints of old world buildings that were mostly wiped out from the event that happened in the past, and it looks like a circuit board. Don't you think? And here is the White House. Old world order building, inherited, and now they manipulate humanity from there. These scumbags. They didn't build that motherfucker. No, they did not. It's old world order. They just took it. The whole place around it as well. You can see it from above. It looks like an owl and shit. And that's old world order design, part of the grid. These scumbags didn't build anything. So that was a little of the architecture. Then we will look at a little bit of the big doors and giants of the old world, which is pretty crazy. Some of them remained here and lived for a while, and yeah, I guess most of them are dead now. And I think there were people even bigger than this. But these three ones here to the right looks like smaller people. This looks like a normal, regular people, or guy, I mean. And this is the big one. So it's like the old world had very much more difference in the vessels we used, and also There is a theory going around that we have been shrunk because we got so spiritually lessened that we also shrunk, and because we are smaller, our energy and brain is also smaller, which kind of makes us weaker and easier to control. Yep. It's a big door, old wall building, big ass door. Why go through the effort to build the building 4 times as big when you don't need to? There was always a purpose, and it looks like they did it to fit in bigger people. That's a big fucking door. That's a big fucking door. The ceiling could have been here, like it is today in modern cities and buildings, and you could have saved all this effort and material to build this big, you know. You gotta struggle with opening this door. This is a wooden door, it looks like, and that's a big door. It's heavy. This woman here can't open this almost. It's fucking heavy with these amounts of wood, you know. It's makes no sense. This looks like metal, and it's a big door, small people, and old wall auto building. You see the details here, just incredible. Here, this girl can't even reach up to these handles here, or door knockers, or whatever it is. So they had to install something down here. Same thing. Handles up here, and yeah, it's a big fucking door. Heavy also. Old wall, heat damaged, brick building. Big door for big people. That's a pretty big one. You see these columns and arch and the door. Yeah, and this looks like a steel door, or a metal door at least. Iron, who knows. And it's big and fucking heavy. Yeah, it's fucking heavy with big doors like this, especially in metal. And this looks like metal. Here, the door is up to here, and they have now cut. They cut it out here to make a door for the normal people like us, the smaller ones, which is retarded. So yeah, built for bigger people, and it's all scorched and fucked up, this building. Damaged. Here you see 2 giant people. This is the Tartarian symbol, the griffin thing with wings. This one as well. This is a man, and this is a giant Tartaria. Big people, and apparently they were much bigger than this too. You know, and they walked hand in hand with the smaller people like us and the dwarfs and everything. It was all just harmony and love, you know. If he was a bad guy, he can just fuck this man over so fast, so easy. But they don't. They seem friendly, you know. See, this is big. This is smaller people. It's a big fucking door. Look how small this man is compared to this. You wouldn't do that just for fun, you know? These doors are fucking heavy. The ceilings inside are fucking tall, you know? So it's like... looks like it was bigger people. Always the old wall buildings. Always the details here. Concrete molds. Statue. This is a tall one. See his hand compared to his head. It's just insane. Tall here, tall Tartarians, or at least giants. This is a woman. Big door. Big door. Doors for big people. It's crazy. It's crazy, yeah. So that was a little bit of giants. And then we see some technology. Hold on, sorry. We need to see some organs first. So the organs is the instrument, the pipe organs from the old world, okay? Which many people, including myself, were used to heal the organs in our bodies, okay? This is some very advanced technology from the old world, which remains. We just found it, we didn't make them. It's so advanced that we don't know how to build them, and the people don't know how to repair them as well, fix them if something happened to them. They don't know. It's too advanced technology. It's incredible high-tech machinery. So it's believed that these churches and organs were used as power plants and also as healing centers where they could play the organ, or you could play it yourself, to create these different vibrations and frequencies from the organs, which will enter your body and heal you. You would feel very great, very, very good, because we know how everything is like frequencies and vibrations, including our bodies and ourselves. So you can enter these frequencies and change it and fix it and heal it. And you can also do the same for destruction, like you can have different noises, like 440 hertz music, 5G radiation frequencies, and all things can be used either as good or bad. And we know that these controllers love to do this, flip it upside down and use shit for evil to fuck us over. But we will take a look at some of the organs, and I will scroll. This will be a little long video, but that's fine. I will scroll through and you just look at the organs, the details, and also the architecture, and you will see why I say it's old world. It's all woodwork, all these pipe organs here, and it's old world buildings, architecture, always. They are just insanely beautiful. Big ceilings, to get probably to create the correct frequencies from this pipe organ here, the right vibrations, and it's just insane. It's just beautiful. See the woodwork, and this is old world technology, my friends. Okay, this is just incredible technology. Very beautiful. It's much more than just a piano. Much more. It's a device. It's used apparently for healing. Insane. Just look at this. All woodwork here. The details, the golden thing, the sun. And here's where you play it. It's see the size of these pipes. See the woodwork here. We don't build this anymore. We don't know how to. This survived the X Factor event, and It's always in the old wall buildings. You can see it. You don't find this in new buildings. You don't. You can't find this in new buildings. See the size of this. See the woodwork. It's just beautiful things here. Beautiful things. See the woodwork. See the woodwork and carvings. The pipes. Details. Here as well. See the details. Pipes. This is pipe organs, my friends. High tech. High technology. From the old world. Healing. Imagine if you felt a little sick or bad, you could just go in here, play the organ and heal. If you got cancer, you could just play the organ and heal. This one is my favorite, I think. This is my favorite. Because you see all the detail on the building itself and the organ, the wood, the golden, and the pipes. And the ceiling, yeah. My favorite one. Here, see the ceiling, the details, architecture, and then the organ. Organ. Old wall building, like I just showed you. And yeah, look at this beautiful organ, the chandelier, the architecture, and then you have these shitty ass fucking chairs here from IKEA. It's like, fuck off. Doesn't fit. See this? You can see the and almost looks like a building. Also, this organ with the yeah, you see. Compare it with this one with the architecture I just showed you a bunch of pictures from. See the pipes. Here is where you play it, and yeah, it's just massive. It's fucking. This is people. It's fucking huge. This thing. You can easily fit inside this pipe. Incredible. It's insane. Old world technology, my friend. Alright, so that was the organs. Then we will see on. Take a little look on some of the technology they used in old world. I don't know what everything is, but I will show it to you and I will explain the things, the opinions I have about what we see, okay? There is some interesting stuff in here, and it's, yeah, old world. Bam! Yep. Steam trains, locomotives like this is old world Tartarian technology, okay? This is not something we built. We found that's the same thing with the railroads. Most of the railroads, yeah, we built some, but not much. Most of it is built in the old world before the event that wiped them out. So that we found these trains here and we learned how to use it, and yeah, we just used them for a little while. It's steam powered trains, which is extremely powerful. You get a lot of power, horsepower, call it what you want, out of these steam engines. And it's fucking cheap to run as well. Old world technology. These trains, I love these trains because of my research. It's like this steampunk. They're just badass. These trains here, badass trains. These Tartarians were not joking around. They wanted the best. Look at these steampunk trains. It's just fucking badass. And now we just use this fucking tube trains powered in this goddamn electric grid, you know? Just, yeah. The new train sucks. they didn't want us to use these trains here because they are very efficient, very cheap to run, and very beautiful, and very high tech. They don't want us to know about technology. So there was a time in the past, early 1900s I believe it was, where they took money to show the audience. You could pay and go there and watch them smash these things together. Like fucking retards. They destroyed it and think it was fun. People paid to go and look at it, and yeah, I become sad when I think of it, how they have worked so hard to destroy all this good technology like this train here. It's criminal to destroy it. And here you see one of these towers, and you go up here, you go on board the Zeppelin, and here it looks like it's connected and docked up to charge. We used Zeppelins for air travel in the past, Old World Order, and yeah, back to not too long ago. But then they faked this what is it called? This Zeppelin disaster in 1937 to make us believe, oh, they are dangerous and all that. But it's efficient, it's safe, it's free energy, and it's quiet and awesome, just floating around over the cities like in these awesome Zeppelins. And also, a Zeppelin don't work on a spinning space testicle. That's also a reason why they got rid of them. Can't see like the slow floating Zeppelin coming from the horizon while this testicle spins 1,000 miles an hour. Doesn't make sense, so they had to get rid of them. And we have ships from the Old World Order as well. Which tells me that there used to be ocean here, but yeah, I will tell a little about the ocean in the X Factor explanation coming soon. But I think there used to be water here, but now it's just a lot more water. We were flooded, I think, but yeah, this is steam-driven ships, very high tech and very beautiful. Here is another steam train, very fucking badass technology. I love these trains. They are fucking badass, you agree, I know it. Here is some kind of train, and oh fuck, I have something here. It hurts a little. You can see these windmill things here in the back. And this is why they turn the sky all white like this, because they are hiding shit in the sky that they don't want us to see, as I said earlier. So this train here is powered by this windmill things in the back here, which makes this run all for free. So you just build it together with your city, and you power it with something free, and then you can just travel for free. Very easy. Here is an old depiction. Apparently they had photographs in the Old World Order as well, and then they were wiped out and we reinvented them. And here, this is said to be an electric car from 18. I don't want to say the date because I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I think they said 1840. Electric car from before the camera were invented is what they what we are told at least. So yeah, another old world order ship, pretty badass. Pretty badass. Beautiful, beautiful. Here is another one. French ironclad. You can look up this. This is Tartarian ships. Okay. This is Tartarian ships. Here is something else. I don't know what this is, but it looks electric. Energy harnessing here from this ball and powering up this, whatever this is. And something else here. Some tech from the old world order. Another old world ship, which we inherited. And here is this wheel here to lift up the chain thing here, whatever. Just look at these big chains, and yeah, it's old world. Here's another angle. We just inherited these ships. We didn't build them. They are very high tech. Didn't find any date on this one, but it looked very old. Looks old. Looks like very early or early 1800 something, middle 1800. But you can see it's all electric and powered up. All this towers to the dome, high tech, free energy buildings. Here is something else inside a big Tartarian building, and you see they show off or something. It's like a event here where they show off different technologies. See, look at this. Looks like electric something. Another Tartarian ship. Pretty awesome. This looks like some ether thing. It's beautiful. Very beautiful. Look at this. Oh, it's beautiful. These trains are gorgeous. Old world transport. I think I like the trains the best. Which one do you like the best? Boats, zeppelins, trains, cars. Yeah. Which one? I like the trains. They're fucking badass. And then, my friends, we have the Titanic. We have the Titanic. I just realized something yesterday, actually, about the Titanic. I came into the topic of Titanic, and I was like, is that old world order? And I did a little research, looked for some images from the inside of it, and also construction images, and yeah, it's old world. I will show you. So I looked a little bit for construction photographs of this magnificent masterpiece, and basically what they say is there is this picture and this picture, but it looks like it's pretty much finished up here. So where is the construction of this motherfucker? It's just sitting here in a dock here as well. Where is the construction? So yeah, this is the inside. And you see this lobby area. You see this fireplace, which is free energy fireplace most likely. And you see the wooden carvings, and yeah, it's just a beautiful ship. Beautiful. Here it is again. This is old world order. This is old world order. Okay. Official narratives said they built it in 2 years. That's what they said. They said this masterpiece of technology were built in 2 years. Go to Wikipedia and check for yourself. Bullshit. And yeah, they I believe they used a bomb to sink it. And I have heard there were rich people on it who were funding, for example, Nikola Tesla and stuff like that. And yeah, they sunk it. I think it was a bomb. This was a very fucking high-tech ship. It was the unsinkable ship, but it still sunk. And you don't sink a Tartarian ship that easily. If they say it's the unsinkable ship, you don't sink it. It had, you know how it had these chambers down and below it or under it, in the lower decks. So if you got a rift in the boat and water started to flow in, you sealed off different chambers to avoid the ship getting over flooded with water, so it really couldn't sink unless there was a bomb. It's not designed to take a bomb hit, of course, but an iceberg sinking that ship? I don't think so. So this is the inside, a lobby. You see all the woodwork, the carving, chandeliers and furniture, and yeah, it's old world order. Here is some of the machinery. It's said to be some electric generator for to power all the electricity on board the ship, and this is Tartarian electricity, old world technology. This is a ship that survived the X Factor, and we used it for a while, most likely, or who knows how long, and they sunk it. And they have to pay. These fucking assholes, these scumbags, fuckers, is gonna pay for this. To destroy this. Trains and shit. Look how badass. I love the trains. I love the trains. The steam trains. Steampunk trains. Beautiful. Inside Titanic again. The stairway. Wooden carvings. All Tartarian. This is Tartarian. We have seen the same building style like this in the buildings I showed you earlier. Okay, Titanic is an old world order ship. Here, old world technology buildings, and looks like they had some kind of amusement parks and stuff as well. I heard. Okay, so here is more old world ships. And here, another old world ship, steamship, Tartarian. Free energy fireplace is this said to be. You don't need an open fire, it's just these electric things here heating up this element here or something, I don't know. But they don't seem to have any soot or wood in these places. Here we have some zeppelins. And here, I don't say this is a real picture, but they could have had something like this. I have seen just many depictions and stuff where they had, looks kind of like a boat just in the air. Or, so high tech. More ships. Old world order ships. Which we just inherited. And this, I don't know if this is real either, but it's like the steampunk New York. And you see this architecture, high tech, free energy, and this Empire State, free energy building, obelisk, free energy devices. Yeah, it's just a high-tech city and a steampunk awesome zeppelin here. If it's real, I don't know. Another one. And here you see some of the old world order buildings and a zeppelin flying. And here you see a ship and you see planes and zeppelins. You get it all here. And you have submarines. So you can compare ships, zeppelins and submarines. They look fucking all the same. Similar. I think they are old world order technology and we just inherited them. I think so. That's an old one. I think we just found them all, and yeah, we just saying, oh, now we built them, blah blah, for the wars and stuff. But I think it's all bollocks, all just lies. Just look at these submarines. This one is damaged and yeah, fucked up. But I think it's old world order. I think it's old world order. So yeah, that was a little of the technology, and then we have the last one, finish it off with the X Factor. Okay, the X Factor, which is said to be this plane-wide event that wiped out the Tartarian Empire. Some kind of event happened. I don't know if it was intentional, but it seems like it, or if it was an accident, a grid overload, short circuit thing. I don't know. But it seems intentional, and that the parasites did it to wipe out this old world to create this new world order. I think that's how it happened. So I will show you some pictures here and explain what I see. And this event here is mainly, this is the reason I created my YouTube channel, to because I couldn't unsee it anymore, and I had to tell people about it. So if you're new to this Tartarian stuff and new to the X Factor event, never heard about buildings melted and shit, just keep watching, and also just go to my channel and subscribe and shit, and check out my playlist called Melted Buildings, I think it's called, and just watch videos there and see if you can see the same as me. So what you see here is an old world brick building, like I have shown earlier in this video, and here you see it's just a brick flood coming from the left and covering the building. So nobody built under this. We call this a rock curtain when melted buildings are covering other buildings or itself hanging over or some shit and shit like that. I mean, we call it rock curtains. So yeah, this is melted red bricks that just started to flow, you know. They melted as fuck, like ice cream. And the background also is melted buildings. All of this is melted buildings, mountains as well. Yeah, there were huge fucking buildings here in the past. Huge fucking buildings. But now they are just gone. Or not gone, but turned into mountains, because like they just melted like ice cream, and now it's just this pile of melted buildings. And this is what we call mountains. This is the only one left here in this place. For some fucking reason, they survived. I don't know why. And here is you recognize the architecture. It's the same. And this is all originally built with red bricks, but the heat started to melt them a little, and they became viscous and did heat expansion and stuff, and turned it into all these stones, bigger stones, a little smaller stones, and some of them turned into what we call popcorn blocks, because they started to pop out because of heat expansion. So all this originally were red bricks. And here you see this wall used to be all perfect red bricks, and now it melted, got very hot here at the bottom. Sometimes you see a lot of heat from the bottom. The bricks melted together, and they turned into rock balloons. They started to expand from the heat. This was all viscous, and it's expanded, and then it hardened up very fast and caught it in this shape of a big, what we call stone or boulder. but this was all red bricks. Nobody built it or designed it like this. It looks horrible, okay? This was all red perfect bricks. You can see how here, I will even zoom in a little bit. You can see here how many bricks are melting and churning together here as well. A big fucking melted mess over here. All these red bricks melted, fucked up, popcorn ballooning, and yeah, this was all perfect red bricks, and now it looks like this. This event was fucking crazy, my friends. Here you see all the nice red color still from the bricks. Sometimes you see this red color, sometimes the red color, what we call carbon 14, the red color is cooked out, and sometimes it's remaining a little bit like this. That's why you have this red mountains and rocks and shit. Especially in places like in Australia is a lot of red shit, and Arizona, Colorado, it's even in the name there. It's a lot of red mountains and shit around the world, or across the plane, I mean. So here you see this as a whole fucking giant building which melted, and this is openings like windows and doors and shit that didn't melt completely shut yet. And down at the bottom it melted very much and turned it into smaller stones and dustified almost. This is all red bricks, just tilted, sunk down into the ground when this was all viscous, and this is all brick lines. This is bricks, you know how bricks are supposed to be horizontal. Now it's like it tilted over to the side when it sunk down into the liquid melted brick flood ground and hardened up, and now this is the result. You see brick lines, and here expanded into block lines, bigger block lines there at this part, this side, and dustified or turned into mud here. So people also gotta realize that there was not a mud flood like we thought there was. Or yeah, technically it's mud, but the mud came from these buildings melting. You know, you see how here it's almost like mud and here it's mud. I don't know why that happened, because maybe it got something to do with the materials this was built from. I think they built these bricks from the earth, and it melted, sometimes turned into mud again, and sometimes it turned into clay, sometimes it turned into sand. It depends on the amount of heat and the duration of heat exposure, how well it melted. Here is some remains. You can recognize this being the buildings in the same architecture I showed you earlier in this video, but now it's just all fucking melted, and you see some openings still, and here we just call it mountain now, but yeah, nobody carved shit, it's just melted. Huge fucking buildings, all melted to shit. Here, this is the bricks again, and it just was viscous and started to collapse on itself, and then it hardened up, and then you have this pattern. This is supposed to be horizontal brick lines. You always lay the bricks horizontal. You don't lay bricks like this. It's a zigzag, so it sunk down and collapsed on itself. Here it turned into blocks, and yeah, this is all bricks. More carvings into the mountain is what they say, but this is just windows and shit in the buildings that didn't melt completely shut. But yeah, there is no opening into the building because the inside of the building all melted shut, but you see the remains of the openings here. Nobody carved shit, and this is not natural rock formations. And here, do you really think someone built like that? This is heat damage bricks, fucked up. Some of them turn into popcorn blocks, popping out here. You can see how this was viscous, all cooked and scorched. Bubbling here from viscousness, holes from when it started to come apart, when this was heavier than the air, when it was viscous, it started to fall down and form this hole. You can see it's melted all here. Just a big fucking mess. Look at this, what happened with this brick. And nobody built like this. Look here, expansion, just getting fucked up by big heat. Here you see some building still. We call it pocket of survival because for some goddamn fucking unknown reason this managed to survive and the rest of it just melted to shit. Look here how this created a rock curtain here and just got fucked up. Here you see some of the red bricks are still there, but the rest of it is now rocks, grey rocks and stuff. And yeah, it makes no sense to build some with bricks and some with these ugly ass fucking stones. So that's the heat damage turned the bricks into these ugly ass fucking stones here. Heat expansion, rock ballooning. Yeah, it just messed this place up, these buildings. They're always built with red fucking bricks, okay? Here is a pocket of survival. The building itself, most of it here, melted and turned into what we call a mountain. This survived, but it turned the bricks into blocks and shit. I mean, come on, why and how do you build this? You see how it's melted and merging into the mountain here? I mean, come on. This survived. This didn't melt for some reason, but the rest just fucking melted. Sometimes the heat just looked selective. It's some kind of, I don't know if it's like a direct energy weapon or some microwave weapon or some short circuit from the motherboard, circuit board below us. I don't fucking know. Here you see a lot of the red color still. Here it little less in some of these lines here, and it was squeezed out to the side from the heat. This is all red bricks. Here it started to churn and expanding and shit, which turned it into looking like hell. Little pocket of survival here. This is all red brick Tartarian architecture. You can recognize them from the pictures I showed you earlier. And you see here red sand. And this is all buildings melted, turned into what we call mountain. All fucked up. This is all fucking buildings, my friends, okay? We need to understand that because it's very important to get a better understanding of the new world order and what kind of parasites we are dealing with here. So here, this is all buildings melted, turned. It was cooked into when it's like sand, like you see here and here. It's like sand. Here is more carbon 14 red color left. Here it's not, so it's all white sand. It was when it was cooked so good and so long that it turned it into a lake of melted building brick flood. And then it hardened up very fast and it came apart into these small fine grains of sand, which is just basically dustified fucking melted buildings. Here, a dome, brick, red color, melted, some kind of tower, I guess. Here, same thing, some kind of building, and openings were still here, and then we came and inherited it and put windows and shit, and now we live in this fucking melted building. Yeah, this looks melted, you see, dripping down, all like a sticky fucking wax, almost just melting down, and then it hardened up very fast, and now we call it a red mountain. But it's used to be a red brick fucking building. Here, more openings in this building, still visible, but it's all melted. It's like almost turned into mud here, dustified at the top. Dustified, muddified. But this is not carved into anything. Nobody carved shit, okay? It was all giant fucking buildings from the old world order. Here, same thing. Nobody built like this. Just throw some mortar, throw some bricks, yeah, and just mix it together like this. Looks like someone built this in 4.5 minutes, but no, it was all perfect red bricks, and the heat made these bricks do all kinds of weird shit like this because of heat expansion, and yeah, just crazy. They were cooked, and they started to flip, popcorn balloon, twist around, do all kinds of weird fucking crazy shit. So here you see an old world order bridge thing going far down into the here, and you see some water flowing and blah blah. So ground is like down here, and now we just built on top of this fuckery and live here and think it's like normal. We live on top of a melted Tartarian, my friends. So all these fuckers live here and like have no idea what's under them, and it's melted buildings. Trust me, it's melted buildings. I have done the research. See a little red here, but this is all bricks, brick lines here. This was churning in hot liquid brick melt. See how smooth they got cooked into these stones here. Very smooth stones. It was hot liquid melted lava flood here. Big blocks, turn it into blocks here. This is the kind of architecture that we looked at with these towers and spires, free energy shit, and it just melted. And you still see, yeah, you can just use your imagination here now, and you see openings, but you see this is buildings melted. Big fucking buildings melted. You can even see brick lines. All was red bricks, that's what you have to understand. Another one, big ass buildings, all melted, creating rock curtains. But you still see some of the openings, and the controllers are the ones who said that we carved into here and stuff, but that's just nonsense. This is melted buildings. Melted red brick buildings. Same thing here. Here you can see some of the bricks still there. Pretty messed up, but you still see the bricks. You see a lot of openings. Pocket of survival here as well. And you see all openings. It's just a melted, messed up building. Here is on one of the Egyptian pyramids, and yeah, it's scorched, melted, cooked. If you just pay attention, this is done by heat. This is done by heat. The pyramids in Egypt, by the way, were all built by the same red bricks. And even the pyramids, they have now big fucking blocks, you know, which is fit perfect together, but that's because of like heat expansion, bricks melting together, viscousness, and it expanded and then it hardened up really fast, and it looks like they are cut like in a lot different angles and fit perfectly together, but that's not what happened. That's impossible. It was all just identical red bricks. It was built with red bricks, and the heat turned it into these big fucking blocks. It's insane, but I have done the research, so I know it, so I need to tell you about it, because it's important. There was no, or what we know as ancient Egypt didn't build anything. They found the pyramids, which were destroyed, by the way. They are destroyed now, they look like this. This was all perfect red bricks. And then they stole it and said, oh, we built it, but then they didn't. The Tartarians built them with red bricks. Look how melted it is and fucked up. Melted building here as well. You see all these openings, the windows and doors, and here you still see some of the bricks. Mostly turned into stones though, but still it's the bricks that remained. A little bit up here as well, and a little red color here. All a giant melted building. Here you see red bricks, and here you see how it's melted. Pancake brick lines and brick lines. Brick lines, brick. This is more remains of melted buildings. You see the red color, and just imagine brick lines. Some of them expanded into thicker block lines as well, as you can see down here. But yeah, it's all red bricks. All red bricks. All red bricks. Melted buildings. Melted buildings. You see openings, and here they're melted pretty much all shut. See more openings. You can see the same architecture that we looked at here when they did this thing on the top with bricks, you know, and then it all melted by some event. Here as well, melted buildings. Dusty fire at the bottom, but this is all melted buildings. I will just show you this a little bit here to get, if you're new, to get you a little bit more curious, because I think if you are an open-minded individual and if you know some shit about the control entities, the parasites and stuff, I mean, if you're interested in knowing what Tartaria was, you know, if you ever are interested in that, I think this might get you curious. Melted buildings. Because this event is something I found out about just, I don't know, 2-3 months ago. Yeah, not too long ago, and yeah, I just can't unsee it, and I had to make videos of it. So yeah, this is all melted buildings. You can still see some of the openings. And this is all buildings in the background as well. You see A-frames here from the melting. Yeah, this is all buildings melted. Here as well. Nobody carved anything, okay? That's a lie. It's a lie to mind control you, so you don't realize and understand how intelligent the people were in the past. They were not dumb cavemen hammering into this mountain here, and no, it makes no sense. It's just the remaining openings from these buildings. Didn't melt completely shut yet. Toes to the domes melted. Remember the architecture I showed you to when we started this video? This is the same, just melted. It's not red anymore from the red bricks because the carbon 14, the red color in the bricks, got cooked out. All this was viscous and it was squeezed out. So that's why it's so white here and not so red. Here is a melted red brick mess. You still see some of the red here. This is all bricks melted and fucked up. Here you see some bricks. Here you see red bricks as well, melted and stopped in motion or in mid-melt. Looks like melting wax here, or melting caramel dripping down. The heat seems to have got away, or yeah, stopped. The heat stopped very quickly by this event for some reason. Like it was very fucking hot, and then it all stopped. You can see it if you watch more of my videos, where you can see just shit melting and dripping and stopped mid-air and harden up very fast, like this. This is bricks melted, you know. What can do that? Melt bricks, you know. Here you see the same bricks mixed with these ugly stones and blocks, and yeah, it was all bricks here. Rock ballooning at the bottom here. Nobody built like that. I mean, come on. They used all red bricks, and the heat did this. It fucked it up. Fucked the building. But still, you can. It didn't melt completely into this shit, you know, or this shit. But it got heat damaged, so we can still recognize this being a building. Here you see shapes from openings. Some of them are still open. Here is the bricks turned into stones and blocks and openings. This is melted building. Melted building. Melted like ice cream, my friends. More here. Melted building. You still see some of the columns inside from the architecture I showed you earlier. Arch, openings, windows, and yeah, melted building. All this is melted building. Everything we see is melted buildings. And some of these buildings turn into piles of mud. Yeah. And sometimes this mud is not settled completely yet, so it's like loose. And then if we are very unlucky, we get a lot of rain, for example, or some vibrations in the ground because of unsettled melted brick flood under us. Because sometimes we don't know about this, so we just build somewhere and don't know what's under us. Could be loose, unsettled, melted buildings. So that falls down and we get vibrations, and we call it earthquakes. But sometimes that happens, and these piles of melted brick releases, and you get a melted brick flood, which someone calls a mud flood. And that's, yeah, you can call it a mud flood, but the mud came from the buildings melting. So this is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. If you don't know where you build, if you don't know that you live under a very big pile of melted building, that can be very dangerous. Because, look here, if you build here, for example, and this comes down, you are dead. See here, both sides. All this is buildings melted. All. We live on top of it. So here you see still some openings, you see the arches, and yeah, this is the architecture I showed you earlier. 100%, 100% some of these buildings, and they're just melted and fucked up. Same thing. Openings here, towers, all melted buildings. All melted buildings. Here is another landslide. See the houses here getting caught with it. Was buildings here, so if they were home, they are now dead because they didn't know where to build. The people here just built under a pile of loose melted buildings. So yeah, buildings melted, and looks like there is a stream of water here. Sometimes the water is still pumped up and flowing out of these buildings, you know, even if they are melted, and that blows my mind. Here is what I think is a Tartarian who were covered in this liquid melted brick flood, which then hardened up very fast for some reason, and yeah, he froze in time, covered in concrete and melted building. Even before his arm fell down, he frozen. Was very quickly. This event was insane and very strange. We don't have all the answers, but I need more minds on this so we can figure out and find the answers. So the bone skeleton still survived though. This is his skull and teeth. This is all melted buildings. We call them mountains, but this is tops of buildings. You can see the domes, you know, all melted. You see the bricks, the red. All these buildings, all these buildings. Here you see fucked up melted, yeah, some heat damage bricks. You see bricks and mortar coming out, getting fucked up. And this is what they call Devil's Tower, which is just a melted building. The official narrative says this is some kind of volcanic event, like lava coming up and then stopping there. But no, this is all melted buildings, and it was all viscous, and it started to cut these columns into the viscous melted building, sometimes horizontal, sometimes vertical, and sometimes both. Cutting into the viscousness, this heat field, this grid field from the event, whatever the fuck it was, microwaves or something, and it cut these columns here. Which is very strange, but I have seen so much evidence. You just gotta, if you're not convinced yet, you just gotta watch more of my videos and you will see it. Here, this is all wall buildings, and heat came from the bottom, climbed up from the bottom and started to expand here and get swollen and just getting fucked up. Actually, getting fucked up. Here, fucked up bricks again, mortar here, getting fucked up, yeah. It's just a messy thing we're seeing here. Here, most of the heat came up to halfway up about, turning it into all this rock balloons and stones. And still, it's bricks at the top. Some of them are turning into popcorn blocks coming out here and stuff, but yeah. This is the evidence. You don't build with ugly ass fucking random stones up to here and then fuck it. Let's use bricks now, and then you don't. You use bricks all the fucking way. Melted building. Just do you recognize the architecture from the pictures I showed you earlier? Yeah. The whole building melted, and yeah, this survived and is now still. We can recognize this for what it is, a building. Nobody carved this shit. It's just a brick building melted. Same as the Devil's Tower, melted building, dustified at the bottom, and it started to cut these columns, these blocks, vertical, big fucking long blocks. And here, it's the same, just bricks getting fucked up, churned, melting, getting fucked up. Melted buildings, and the people here came and like inherited it and put a door here, and now they live there. You can still use it for shelter. Some of these buildings that didn't, when the rooms didn't collapse completely, you can still use it for shelter. So yeah, free buildings. Here is this one again, and yeah, this is the building comes here and covers this shit. You see how it's merging into the melted building here. You know, this is just a pocket of survival, and the rest is just melted and fucked. It's now a mountain, but it's not a mountain, it's just a melted building. Here's this dude again, just another angle. Melted tower buildings things here. You see that? Yeah, you see the architecture. I know you can see it. With an opening here still. Here is brick lines turn into big block lines, and then they started to twist and bend and shit when this was all viscous, started to sink down in the ground, and yeah, it's incredible, my friends. It's just incredible. Building still being building here, and the top is all fucked up. And then yeah, buildings melted, holes, and yeah, messed up. This is a building, this is easy. You see the tower, they had the free energy, openings, windows, and then you have this roof here, and yeah, this is a building melted. Okay, it's easy to see, it's easy. All melted buildings in the back as well. The whole neighborhood here melted. And here the heat looks like it was a hot wind coming from just this side, hitting this side of the wall. Making the bricks do all kinds of weird shit, but this side is mostly untouched for some fucking reason. So it's like, yeah, popcorn bricks. This is popcorn bricks. They start to expand and then they don't fit anymore and just pop out. Same thing. Popcorn bricks from the heat damage. Nobody built like this. Nobody built like this. Here, easy to see the towers melted, openings here, all here, and here. All melted buildings. And you can even see it underwater. Some places you see the pancake brick lines here, and here, and yeah. I have more in my videos of showing shit underwater, but to me that shows that okay, buildings were down under the water and melted there as well, which for me tells us that the water level is raised up. So that could be because you know what they call the Milky Way in the sky. I think that's a crack in the dome, the ceiling. I think that. But yeah, who knows? It could also be as simple as all these buildings were fucking huge up in the sky, and then they melted down and like down in the water, and because of more mass in the water level has to rise up. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But it seems to be the water level at least raised up. Here, dripping melted brick melt underwater. And you can't melt stuff like this underwater. That doesn't work. So this is like dripping walks, but it's just red bricks melted, dripping down. And then flooded. Brick lines. Melted buildings underwater. Here, underwater cave as well, dripping down, melted building. This is like the inside of one of these buildings that didn't melt completely shut into one piece. It's like the room just didn't collapse yet in the melt. So this is still remains as an opening. Opening in the building, melted arches, opening. Here, bricks turn into blocks up here. Openings, yeah, melted building. Here, bricks turn into blocks. You see the arches and still openings, melted buildings. You see the rooftops here. Openings here, all melted buildings. All melted buildings from the old world order. The pictures I showed you earlier is just the buildings. Some of the buildings, very top of the buildings, very often that just survived. The rest, the big ones, like Mount Everest, is a melted fucking building. So the buildings were big. Big building melted. Red bricks melted. The heat expansion turned into blocks instead of bricks. And yeah, just doing all shit. All weird shit like this. It was all, you know how red bricks look like. It's just all the same. This is a melted building. Openings here. Melted building. Like a castle building just melted. And here, brick lines. Red still in here. Block lines, brick lines, brick lines, brick lines. Fucked up. And here you see these bricks. See how perfect this brick is? That's how all bricks is supposed to be. But you see the mortar is getting cooked, and bricks here twisting, bending, expanding, scorching, cracking, getting fucked up. Okay. Popcorn blocking, and yeah. Heat damaged. This is a perfect brick here, and the rest is just fucked. So, we now have seen, looked through, 260 something pictures, I think, of the architecture, the giants, some of the technology they had, the organs, and the X Factor meltdown of the buildings, which is what my channel mainly is about. So if you want to see more melted building content, just go and check out my other videos, and also videos when the buildings cried and Spartan Red in the video description. So if you're new to this Tartarian Antiquitech X Factor meltdown thing we just talked about, here are some hashtags you can look up and research. Antiquitech, Tartaria, Tartary, Old World, monatomic gold, which I actually forgot to talk about, but that's fine. Melted buildings, Nikola Tesla, atmospheric energy, and hidden history. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something, especially if you're new to the channel and new to the Tartarian Empire. If you don't know too much about it, I hope I could help you see it, and I will continue to make videos, more videos in the future coming up. And yeah, so please subscribe, hit the like, please. It helps with videos not being too buried by the algorithm of YouTube. Leave a positive comment if you have anything you want to tell me, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh fuck. Goodbye.